Hello, everyone. Today I want to talk about skills, show how skills work in Radish, and do a demo of how to build skills in Radish. Let's go to the canvas and let me start a new assistant. Cool. Now let's talk about skills. Radish already has a lot of skills. If you think about skills the way they work in AI currently, they are usually plain .md files. They just exist the way they are, and it's very hard to evolve them, improve them, have any other information outside of what is in the .md file. That is not how skills are in Radish. So what we have built is a whole package management and versioning system around skills, first of all, which is why you see v1.o.o here and so on. So all the skills within Radish are versioned. Additionally, skills are not plain .md files. A lot of skills have tools within them. So for example, we have a Google Docs skill, and that has tools like Google Docs append text, create doc, etc. Right? We have all these tools that exist within these skills, and this skill is what I would call more like a tool set skill, because there are so many services that we use in our day-to-day life digitally. There's Gmail, there's Drive, there is Canva, Slack. To do anything with them, we don't just need to be able to integrate with them, but we also need to have a good tool set to be able to do things. For example, if it is Gmail, then read emails or create a draft or send an email, etc. And so there is this lowest level of skills that therefore we have to build, which is tool set skills, right? And we can see that we have Google Drive Helper, we have Outlook 365, but then there are skills like executive assistant or knowledge base or micro journaling, which are built on top of toolset skills, right? Executive assistant, it says it handles email for you, so it will have to rely on an email toolset, both Gmail or Outlook 365, depending on what you use. We have the micro journaling logbook, so it depends on the Google Sheet skill because that's how it does the micro journaling for you. When we see all these tools that are here, right? Let's say Google Docs create doc. All these tools were also built within Radish using Radish by just prompting it. One other thing I would talk about is importing skill. So if you are starting an assistant, let's say you want to make a sales assistant and your sales process is that a calendar invite comes in, you look at what is in the calendar invite, and based on that, you update a Google Sheet. Then you also send an email. You can start with importing the Gmail skill. You just click import Gmail and it just imports the Gmail skill. And then it shows you that, okay, Gmail is already installed and all the 15 tools that are in this skill are now with you, right? And you can also import Google Calendar, you can import Google Sheet, but you could also say, I have a sales process where I use Gmail, Google Sheets, and Google Calendar. Can you help me with managing that process? And you don't have to go manually import the skills by clicking import skill. You can just explain how you do things. I don't want to take the time to, let's say, write down a whole process here, but the assistant will find these skills itself. For example, it did the search skills. It has then found that there is a Gmail skill, there is a Google Sheet skill, and there is a Google Calendar skill. It has found all these things by itself, but you don't have to worry about how it works. If you're interested, you can always open these steps and see and click on the tool outputs and see what's going on. But you can just answer the questions here. So it is asking to describe the sales process. Fine, I can explain it here. We have a website where there is a calendar link and people come and set up meeting with us on Google Calendar. Every time any meeting is set up, we basically look at what's in there. We log information in Google Sheet. We respond back with questions within the calendar invite on email to the potential client. And from there, we carry forward the process. For example, we attend the meeting and then we log additional information in the sheet. We might send more emails, but we don't have to worry about all that. Can you help us the initial triage? Great. So the audio has been transcribed and now it's asking, do you already have specific spreadsheets or calendars set up for this process, or would you like me to create ones? For the ease of this, let's just say create new ones. What specific parts of this process would you like me to handle? All right, so it has imported the Google Sheet skill, it has imported the Google Calendar skill, and now it is asking me to authenticate Google Calendar skill, which is pretty straightforward. I just click through, and this is a straightforward OAuth process, and I authenticate. And now it is going to ask for authentication for the Google Sheet skill. and so on. So as you will see, now all these skills, like the Gmail, Google Sheet, Google Calendar skills, all of them are already installed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rename this to sales demo, and let's create another skills demo. Just to make it easy, I'm going to create a calculator. Hey, I want to make a calculator skill. Can you help me with building that skill? So I just want to show how Radish can help me with the skill building itself. Now, there are two ways you could end up building a skill. One is that you go in with the intention of building a skill. So you might start the conversation exactly the way I have started the conversation, that I say, I want to build a skill, help me build a skill. Or you might just go in and you might start building an assistant and start teaching the assistant everything that you want it to do. And in the process, it might learn things, it might build tools, etc., which you can then package as a skill. And we are going to show how to package these skills. So it asked me, and I've said, I want to build a basic arithmetic calculator and I want you to make custom code tools. Let's see what it did here. Now, it did some thinking, and you can also see exactly what is it thinking, and it searches the memory. And by the way, one other thing, you can also thumbs up, thumbs down. You can give us feedback, and feedback is extremely important. You can give feedback for the final responses or that it gives you or the questions it asks you, but you can even give feedback for the actual tools that it runs or the steps it takes. All right, let's see what is it asking now. And it is asking me whether I want to just make one tool or make separate atomic tools. And if I hover, it also says a single tool that handles complex expressions like this, or a separate atomic tool. Let's go with separate atomic tools. As you can see, it also can do web search. Great. Again, it did some thinking and it is suggesting that here is the plan for your calculator tools: add, subtract, multiply, divide. Great. So it adds two numbers. So everything is just with two numbers. And for now, that's fine. Yeah. So first, what it does is it creates the tool, or it might even edit tool. And that's what save code means. And then it even tried these tools by itself. So it created the calculator add tool and it tried it. Says, I've successfully built and verified the basic arithmetic tools for your calculator skill. All four are there. Now let us see what it exactly did. So in the add tool, it gave 5 and 3 and it got 8 as an output. But just to make sure, I'm going to say, and I'm going to try the same in, let's say, Google, right? And 198.17465, 198.17465. Funnily, looks like this is wrong. Now is the time to first of all give feedback. Maybe give it here too. Let me try with shorter numbers first. Okay, 9920181385. It does the shorter numbers correctly. In the longer numbers, it was correct in the beginning part, but then eventually it ends up being wrong. Let's see what's going on. These two are exactly matching. This is not. It has, for some reason, instead of passing 098, pass 4100. So let's say, hey, the second addition that you just did was correct, but the first one was completely wrong. Could you investigate what's going on? It is extremely important that when Radish makes tools for you, you test the tools before you package them in a skill and publish them. Right. So it's saying I've investigated the error. The issue is that the standard JavaScript numbers lose precision. This is one of the things to keep in mind when you're working with computers and doing math. It is getting correctly that to fix this, I can update the tools to use BigInt. As we have seen with AI, a lot of the work increasingly for us is to validate and verify what the AI is doing, which is the same case here. So I'm going to tell it that yes, go ahead and use BigInt precise integers. So now the calculation is 548, and I think it's actually correct. So now comes the part where we package this as a skill. So you can go to skills, you can click publish, and the first thing to do is to mark all these tools and publish the tools first. Because without publishing the tools, you cannot publish the overall skill. Now that we have published the tools, we can go to the skill and we can say, we can pick an emoji, basic calculator. And here I'm going to add these tools that we have created. All of them have the version 1.0.0. The version for the calculator skill is already determined, and I am going to decide that, okay, you know what, I'm going to make this skill public. If you do the same, if you don't make it public, then whatever skill you make, it will be visible to you in your list of skills, and you can use it for other assistants. But if you want to make it available for all the people in Radish, you can say make the skill public, and then we will review the skill. And if it is good, we will publish it, and it will then be available to all the people who use Radish. And as we can see now, it has marked this skill as installed. It shows what are all the tools. And now if you create another agent or assistant, you can import this skill and you can start using it. And here we are, 858 looks correct. So the rest of it should also be fine. In some other video, we are going to talk about how one can then take these tools, improve them, and republish a new version. But you can, for example, if you change divide, you can, it will say 1.1.0 is the next one. And you can add improved how precision works and then just publish it. Right now, it is not allowing because nothing has actually changed here. But you can also update the basic calculator and you can remove old versions and update, add new versions of tools and then publish. And that is how skills work in Radish. That is how you can build skills. That is how you can publish skills. And this shows how skills in Radish are a lot richer than anywhere else where they are just plain .md files.